What's going on YouTube? JT here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're talking about Absolute Batman, issue number 9. As you can see on the cover here, it's Absolute Batman meaning Absolute Bane. And Absolute Bane is like built like way bigger than Batman, and Batman's already like jacked up on who knows what in this universe. But like we gotta make Bane even bigger. But we also have to give him this tiny ass head in the process, which makes it look all the more funny. It just looks, the proportions just look off. Like Bane should have a bigger head with this thing. I mean, if his muscles and that can grow to like obscene sizes, then his head should be able to too. Because like, I mean, it looks kind of a bit silly. Not gonna lie in this thing, but it's basically just Bane, just even bigger with a tinier head. So as the issue opens up, we have these two countries which were in constant state of war for many years and finally able to make peace. And they're like, okay, we're going to announce this to everyone. And then Bane shows up. It's like, that's not going to happen. You are going to, one of you is going to die. And then the other is going to say no to all this peace stuff and just continue the war because that's how I get money and yada, yada, yada. And then he gets tasked with another target, which ends up being the Absolute Batman. So this was written by Scott Snyder, artist by Nick Dragotta. And yeah, so meanwhile, after Waylon Jones was kidnapped and, he dealt with the Mr. Freeze stuff, Absolute Batman's just been on a warpath, beating the hell out of every criminal in sight and just wanting to take action. Also, looks like this is our first look at Dick Grayson within the Absolute Universe, and he looks like an older EMT in here. So there you go. There's Dick Grayson. That's what he is. He's not Circus. He's just EMT. So we'll see how that all plays out within this universe. I'm curious to know about Raish and Talia and all that within this thing too. Like, was Bruce like around the world still like going through stuff? Did they meet up or anything like that? That'll be interesting to see what the Absolute Universe take is on those villains. I'm kind of curious. But then he comes to Barbara Gordon and is like, look, I need help finding this guy. You're one of the only good cops within the city, so let's work together and all that. So that's what he does. He's kind of going a little unhinged at his friends and Alfred and all that other stuff. And also we see some stuff going on with Martha Wayne, and she's got to figure out what's next. We also see some flashbacks a bit to Bruce and Selina, I guess, and they were hooking up and doing all this stuff, and they have this money, and he wants Bruce to train him because he's all over the place. And eventually he makes his way to Ark M, and he finds some like hidden stuff. It's almost like a hidden city in some ways. He sees a little man-bat thing, and then he goes and confronts Bane. So it's the first time Absolute Batman faces Absolute Bane. Now, Absolute Batman is just jacked as all hell, as we've established within this storyline here, but Bane is like even more. It kind of makes me think of, like, was it Reacher season 3, where he's like, he fights an even bigger guy. I mean, Reacher's built out to be like this jacked monster, and then he meets an even bigger guy than him that makes him kind of look small. And that's kind of the vibes I'm getting with this thing. And Batman tries to use every martial arts style, and Bane is just easily stopping him. No questions asked, and Batman's like, of course you're without those tubes in your head. And then Bane is like, no, this is me without him. So then he activates the venom, and then he carries him up like, oh, Bane, smash, like I'm Hulk or something like that. And it says to be continued, and that's the issue in a nutshell. So it's generally a pretty easy one to follow. Some nice looking artwork in this thing. I do think Bane's design looks rather ridiculous, to be honest. Like, it's not the jacked part. It's just his tiny ass head, which feels so out of place compared to everything else. Like, it looks really silly, and definitely does kind of take me out of it. I don't think it's a great design. His head should be a little bit more proportionate to the rest of his body, and it's like that even before he kind of transforms. It just looks so, it just feels a little out of place in some ways. I don't know if that's just me or anyone else is feeling the same way, but he's just got like this tiny ass head, and like compared to the rest of his body, it just, like I said, it just looks a little bit silly. And I do like the fact that Batman just kind of gets the shit beaten out of him, too. To an extent, this is the first time he's meeting Bane, and you want that. Like I said, I'm thinking back to Dark Knight Rises, the first time Batman fights Bane, and he's like, theatricality and deception are powerful agents to the uninitiated, but we are initiated, Bruce, members of the League of Shadows. And then they just beat the hell out of each other. Then I will break you. Ah, yes, I was wondering what would break first, your spirit or your body. Boom, snaps his back. Sorry. Once you get me quoting Bane from Dark Knight Rises, I can't find my way to stop. I just keep going and all that stuff. But, all things considered, this is a fun issue. We get a little bit more hints of Ark M. We see him a little bit more unhinged. We learned a little bit more that Dick Grayson does exist in this thing, and he's not a child. He's an EMT guy. So I don't see him becoming Nightwing. Again, Babs is very different in this thing, too. I mean, does she even go by Babs? Like, she's a police officer and all that, and you know, she's a different ethnicity than the main universe too, as we've showcased. So I don't know what they're doing with everyone else. So I don't know if we'll even expect like other characters like Jason Todd or Tim Drake in this universe. I doubt we'll see Damian in this one too, because well, he would have had to have like met Talia. Unless he already did in the past, I don't exactly know, because you know he's been around for a little bit, for sure. And this is like a younger version. But then again, Dick Grayson looks to be closer to his age or something like that. So I don't exactly know what we're doing. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it for the most part. I don't really love the Bane design. Like I said, just look at that. Does that look really like good? Like the rest of them, like okay, we're good. And then you look at the head and like, it just looks so out of place compared to everything else. It just proportionally looks off. I feel the same way as like, you know, like some people, this is a different reference, but people always complain about like the legendary monster versus Godzilla's head looking way too small compared to the rest of the body. But, you know, it takes that to a bit more of an extreme. So, again, it's just a silly looking design. It just kind of takes me out. It's a little bit goofy, and not in a fun, goofy way. Like it's trying to be like so edgy and serious that it looks rather ridiculous. But you know, Absolute Batman's still fun. I just think Bane's design, just the head, it looks off. Like it looks off to me. And it's just every time I see it, I'm just gonna start to laugh a little bit because it just looks that ridiculous. But yeah, but anyways, I mean, it's not like Bane hasn't looked ridiculous with Venom before. It just like here, I don't know, it just looks a little off to me. But that's just me. So, anyways, what did you all think of this thing? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, all that other stuff. And I got one more DC book that I'm going to be covering, and that should be it for the week. And I'll be all caught up in time for whatever comes out next week. But anyways, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.